Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Last week I went over the first 6 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures from 1988. I told you guys I would finish up on the remaining 4 bad guys, and that's what I want to talk about on today's video. So roll that cheesy intro. But today, we're going to go over Bebop, Rocksteady, Foot Soldier, and the leader, Shredder. These are some of the coolest figures from the line, and they came out in the first year. They all have unique molds, and I'll talk about the couple variations that they have. So let's check them out. So today, I'd like to talk about the 4 remaining figures from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. Before I get into them, I just kind of want to talk about a couple things and give you guys some insight on how it was when these came out. These things were extremely hard to get. They made more of the Turtles than they did the bad guys because that was their main moneymaker was the Ninja Turtles. So finding the bad guys were pretty tough back in the day. They made less of them, and in turn, when they would ship boxes to the stores, they'd have a lot less bad guys in the shipping boxes. So the first figure we're going to talk about today is Shredder's little minions, I guess you could call them. The Foot Soldier.
The Turtles! Foot Soldiers attack!
The Foot Soldier, pretty basic. There's tons of different variations of the Foot Soldier in the video games and on the cartoon. But the most basic one was just the original Foot Soldier, who was purple. I don't know, I like this figure. I like his weaponry, and I like the color of them. So the thing is about these is that these Foot Soldiers, they had to make them kind of slouched over. So when you try to pose them, it can become a problem because sometimes they want to fall over on you. That's why you can find a lot of aftermarket stands now for these Ninja Turtle figures, because the way that some of their feet were molded, it's kind of difficult for them to stand up on their own. So there's a ton of aftermarket figure stands that you can buy to help with that. But yes, this is Foot Soldier, 1988. So one thing I want to talk about though is, and I didn't mention this in the first video, they have a thing called soft heads, and I should have talked about it a little bit more. But essentially, when the line first came out, every one of these had a soft head version. So the soft heads were the first print runs of the Ninja Turtle figures. And the reason they went with the soft heads is because they didn't know if this line was going to flop or not. So they didn't want to mass produce a bunch of these in the first year. So what they did was they used rubber heads because it was cheaper. The only 2 figures from the original 10 did not come in a soft head: April O'Neil and the Foot Soldier. The remaining 8 figures all had soft head versions. Nowadays, the soft head versions are extremely pricey, and there's a couple variations of the soft heads. So if you're a collector trying to get the soft heads, they're going to run you quite a bit of money. So a couple of reasons why they stopped using the soft heads was, one, because the line took off and they started mass producing these things with hard plastic. But the second was because parents were writing in saying that their children were biting on the rubber heads and they would pop off and it was a choking hazard. So they eventually went with the solid plastic head because you couldn't just bite it off. With the rubber, it was extremely easy to pop the head off. So that's another reason why they changed it later on. But I want to give you a couple pointers if you're looking for some soft heads, what to look out for. One of the main things is the head itself. If you look on any of Turtle figures, the head actually has a piece of plastic that's where they molded the hard plastic together on the side, so there'll be like a weld almost. That's one way to notice if it's a plastic head. If it's rubber, you won't have that seal on the side of the head. That's the most dead giveaway that you have a rubber soft head inside a package if you're trying to buy one mint on card. So you kind of have to really look. But if you look at, I don't know if you can actually see that, but he never had a soft head version. But if he did, you wouldn't see that seam right there. On the back of his card, it's pretty standard. They look like the rest. But one thing I do like is his actual file card, which it's hilarious. It says Shredder's right hand mummy. And you know, they're really stupid on the cartoon, so I'm glad that they said mummy. You know what I mean? Like mummies are they're almost blind, and these guys, they were just really stupid on the cartoons. His birthplace was Catacomb, Nebraska, which I just thought was funny. And, you know, it says, foot soldiers are all alike, speechless, robotic minions to Shredder. The evil foot leader. Their mummified movements, turtle shell armor made from unfortunate relatives of the turtles. So it's like their armor is, you know, turtles that they had killed, you know. So it's just kind of weird. And radioactive eyes make these skeletal scumballs truly horrible additions to the Foot Clan. Many foot soldiers have stumbled over the ninja trained turtles and have been destroyed. Still, they are formidable foes because of their sheer numbers. Their high-tech weapons, like their shell biter, can crush the turtle's protective covering and get to the real meat. So these things right here, they're almost like little chompers, and they would try to use them in the cartoon to, I guess, you know, break the turtle's shells and get into their meat, which they never ended up doing that. They would just get annihilated. When they released these, one of the main reasons people bought these is to army build with them. Back then, they didn't call it army building, but nowadays they call it army building. And what it means is, since they all look the same, if you play with your turtles or you set them up and put them in like dioramas and things like that, you could get a ton of these, and you know, it looks like the actual Foot Clan, where there's always 50 or 100 of these guys together at once. So it looks really cool when you're trying to build your own diorama or something. Back then they didn't call it army building, but yeah, a lot of people bought multiples of them for that reason. He was a little tougher to find when I was looking for him. He was the second to last that I had gotten because of just, for some reason, he was harder to find because I guess everybody opened these up and just beat the tar out of him with the turtles. He's unpunched and he's mint on card. And like I said, he only came in the hardhead. So it's much easier to, you know, just buy one and not have to worry about picking up a variant for Foot Soldier. The next one, Rocksteady.
Careful with that, you numbskull.
Oh, gee, I was just doing what you told me.
I don't know, I always liked Rocksteady. I liked the way he looked, and he came in a soft head. I love this figure, and for some reason, Bebop and Rocksteady are the two priciest figures of the first 10. Even the hardhead versions will run you over $150 a piece. I don't know why that is exactly. I just assumed most people just didn't buy the bad guys. Like I said, everybody wanted the turtles. Plus, there was a lot less in shipping boxes of the bad guys. This is Rocksteady. I love his outfit. I love his belt that has like the turtle shells on it. I like him better than Bebop, but he had no variation. He did have a soft head, but he had no card back variation. And one thing I do want to mention, initial releases, they started stuffing a white piece of paper in here that when you opened it up, it would be like a little mail away for the, like basically a Ninja Turtles fan club. They called them fan club flyers. You can get soft heads with the fan club flyers, and man, they are pricey. So that's what most like hardcore early Ninja Turtle collectors really focus on is finding those. So if you find one like unpunched with the flyer and a soft head, oh man, you're looking at a lot of money. And so I don't have any of those. I just have the initial release after they got really popular and they started mass producing them. And that's fine. You know, I'm not a crazy collector like that. I just liked having them mint on the card, you know. So this is Rocksteady. His weapon is the retro gun. And it's hilarious. It just looks like a scoped M16, you know what I mean? The back of his card looks like the rest, and he has the custom file card that's actually different. You know, I love these figures, man, but to look at his file card, it's, you know, Mutagen G Mauler and Shredder's #1 Thug. His weapons are the Rhino Mutagen gun, the manhole cover shield, and the turtle carver knife. You know, it's like he came with a knife that was just specifically made for carving turtles. It's just hilarious. He's 5'7", 240 pounds. He looks a lot bigger on the cartoon, you know. So his bio says, Rocksteady's tough rhino body makes him a turtle bashing powerhouse. His lack of smarts makes him dangerous. This mutagen mammal is big trouble when his retro mutagen gun, one shot, can level a whole building or a shelled turtle off duty. Rocksteady loves to fry up a mess of juicy turtle burgers for the whole Foot Clan. Like, you know, just imagine, like, he's got like a, you know, a chef's little, you know, kiss the chef thing on, and he's just cooking up turtles for the Foot Clan members who are robots. You know, it's just really funny. Rocksteady's field glasses survey the area for anything that looks like a turtle. He's mistakenly blasted 6 soccer balls. You know, like, just little things like that that they added to these cards made them all unique. And all these bad guys are all unique molds. They never use these again for different figures, which is awesome. The GI Rockhead blatantly displays his victory skills with the turtle scalps he wears around his belt. And if you look at his belt, it don't show it, I guess, because, like, maybe it was because of the children. They didn't want to seem like a shrunken head on there or something like that. Yeah, that's Rocksteady. He's unpunched also, just like the rest of my collection. And I really like him, you know. Rocksteady was awesome. I liked him better than Bebop. It seemed like he was stronger, but he was like just as stupid. Maybe even more stupid than Bebop. Yeah, that's Rocksteady. Now we move on to the hardest figure to find when I was trying to get all these, which is Bebop.
It's extremely volatile. Oh. What's that mean?
Bebop was very tough to find. I found Rocksteady pretty easily, but he was hard to find, and he was almost double the price of all the other bad guys. And I'm thinking that's because there was a couple variants, so everybody thinks they might have a rare one. But the variant for Bebop was, he actually has, I don't know if you can see, but that's his regular nose. They made a soft head version of him also that had a real pink nose, and he's called the Pink Nose Bebop. So that's the variant for Bebop, and that's extremely hard to find too. Seems like all these early Turtle soft head fan club flyers and things like that they're so hard to find nowadays. So I just got the original one. I'm fine with that. I like his red sneakers. I like his almost like black Michael Jackson like leather pants. I love the chain belt. He just looked really cool, man. Let's take a look at the back of his card. The back of his card looks like the rest. You know, they really didn't change the formula for the first year. As the line went on, they definitely changed the back, and there's actually card back variations also, which have like a different amount of figures on it, and they're considered variations. So it gets crazy later on. But let's take a look at his profile. Powerhouse punk enforcer of the Foot Clan. His weapons are the turtle shell drill, garbage can shield, and the knife. His birthplace is Hoggywood. Hoggywood. He's 5'10", 265 pounds, and he's 19 years old. He was a punk gang member / warthog originally. If you ever watch the cartoon, you see how they turned into him. And yeah, he was just a punk gang member back then. It says, Bebop is the mutant punk rock hog who could slam dance his way through any crowd. This roadhog warrior dares to shave his head in blatant opposition to the establishment and his parents, which I've never even heard of his parents mentioned, only on this card. Behind his mohawk, ponytail, cool shades, and an all-star tennis shoes lurks the heart of a pig, ready to pulverize the turtles. Guided by the evil Shredder, Bebop is willing to roll in the mud to snort out the turtles. His 2 turtle shoulder pads cover a grotesque array of safety pins, tattoos, and junk food. And if you look on like his arm, they didn't actually articulate him. It's just the same color as his skin. But yeah, he has like, you know, tattoos and almost like a keychain looking thing in his skin. Always at his side, the shell drill serves as a constant reminder that the party's not over until every turtle lies on its back. One of the other things to look for when you're looking to get turtles mint on card, a lot of these, since the figure, like he's the heaviest figure from the first 10, easily. For some reason, his mold was just heavier. So they seal the top in the middle of the card. They seal that plastic to the card back. Well, when you're looking for these, and I know I found this out the hard way, but if you look at these, I don't know if you can actually tell, but you'll get a stress mark right here. And that's because of the years of being in the package. It's kind of, I don't know, I guess pulled it down and put a crease in here where on the front side that you can see on the back. A lot of people, you know, take value off for that and things like that, but you know, these things are hard to find anyways, and then you got people like nitpicking them and people that grade figures and things like that. That's why I've never sent them to get graded, because I just feel like that people are going to nitpick them to death, and I don't know. But this is Bebop. He's awesome. I wish I did have a pink nose version, just because he was a lot harder to find, but that's the one I had as a kid, was a rubber head pink nose version. So I you know, I'm kind of still looking, but I'll get there eventually, hopefully. But right now, that's Bebop, the hard head Bebop, and I love him. That's Bebop. And last but not least, the almighty Shredder.
That's enough. You must handle this Nutrifreeze carefully. It's extremely volatile.
Shredder was a weird mold. It was a custom mold, and the thing was, when they made him literally where he can't stand on his own. His legs are like this. So if you take him out of the package, his legs, if you look at him, they're like bent at a weird angle. It's hard to see because his cape. I'll try to insert a photo of him. Well, so on the back, it looks fine. You're like, oh, you know, he doesn't look that bad at all. But no, you can't stand him like that. He does not stand up. So I always was a little annoyed by that. I'm pretty sure they used this mold because they based it off of the comic version of Shredder, which that's why that stance is like that, because he uses that stance in the original comic, because it's just a weird stance. Like if you look at him, he's kind of like this for some reason. If you put his hand out, he's like this, almost like you know, getting ready to fight. And that's because they just looked at the comic and made that mold off of one of the still images off the comic, I think. I could be wrong, but I think I read that somewhere. So this is the leader of the Foot Clan, Shredder. Later on, they released Krang in '89, and he joined him as the, I guess, co-leader or Shredder's boss. But at the time, Shredder was the only one released, so he was the leader of the Foot Clan, and he told Bebop and Rocksteady what to do all the time. This is Shredder. He comes with the actual cloth cape and the black belt, and you can take that off, and he's got like a 12-pack, man. He's just stacked, man. Like, he's in incredible shape. So I like Shredder because they made Shredder really stupid in the cartoon, but in the movie he was a badass. Like, the Turtles couldn't even beat him 4-on-1. Like, that's how awesome he was. And I like that version of Shredder. I like when they didn't make him a moron, because he's just awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I really like him, and I just hate that they made him so silly. You know what I mean? Like, to be a leader, he's really stupid, and I just don't get that. His real name is Oroko Saki. If you watch the Turtles backstory, it kind of tells you what happened, but we'll read his file card. The bad guy leader, Shredder. His weapons are the cutting armor, sword, ninja stars, fist daggers, and the kama. His birthplace is Osaka, Japan. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. Shredder is the hideous, gruesome, and all-around bad guy leader of the Foot Clan, the organized band of evil ninjas. This lowlife came to power when he betrayed his ninja master, Hamato Yoshi, which, if you watch the show and the movie, Hamato Yoshi is actually Splinter in the human form. Shredder wants nothing more than to control the world, and to get there, he'll stop at nothing, even if it means grating his victims like cheese with his razor-sharp armor. These obstacles in his path are none other than the Turtles, and he means to destroy them. Shredder fights a never-ending battle against truth, justice, and the American way. Basically, he's not a nice guy. I think they kind of just like ran out of things to say about Shredder. They were just like, we have to make him sort of a moron in the cartoons, or otherwise the Turtles wouldn't stand a chance. Like, this guy is insanely skilled in the movie. He manhandled the Turtles. So they were like, just say he doesn't like, playing by the rules. But yes, this is Shredder. So this was the last figure from 1988. I know the video wasn't that long, but I kind of just wanted to show the bad guys because, I have a soft spot for the bad guys. For one, their personalities were all unique. The Turtles were too, but the thing with the Turtles was everybody liked a certain one. When I was a kid, like, everybody just didn't like the bad guys, period. You just like the Turtles beating them up. But as you get older, I kind of like have a favorite, But this is Shredder, and this is the last figure. I think he's awesome. I'm glad I got him when I did, and I got a really good deal on him. He's tough to find too. He's probably third out of the 4 bad guys. Yeah, I'd say third. I'd say Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, and Foot Soldier. I definitely know Bebop and Rocksteady are the hardest because it took me the longest to find them. So that's Shredder. I'll kind of just put him up here and let you guys see him. I cherish these figures. They mean a lot to me. And I'm glad I got them when I did. And I see the prices now, and it sucks because I wish more people could enjoy these hanging on their wall or getting them loose with their weapons and displaying them like I do some of the other movie line Turtles. So that's the 88 figures. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Well, there you have it. The original 10 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures from 1988. After the first year, in 1989, they got huge in popularity. So they released a lot more figures for that year. If you'd like to see a video about those, just let me know, because I'd love to cover that year also in a separate video. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and don't forget to leave your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle memories in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep it retro.